Comedy is all that I know. She's over me. She's over me. She caught me with her hypnotic dance. She holds me here with only a glance. She's over me. She's over me. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Paranormal Portal. I'm your host, Brent Thomas, and these are the Night Terrors. These are the shorter version episodes of the Paranormal Portal, but we will be getting into all of the fun that we can jam-pack into that hour. And thank you to those of you who are here, and thank you to those of you who are yet to arrive. But I noticed there's a slope. Also, tonight, as always, is Sunday night. And on Sunday nights, that's also the release of the brand new podcast episode. And I'm really excited about tonight's. I mean, I'm excited about every one of them. And I don't mean to say that any one is better than any of the others. I love talking about this stuff. But this was a real neat chance meeting of a gentleman over in Bahrain, which is over in near, I don't know where it is exactly, to be honest with you. I'm very geographically challenged, but I think it's near like Saudi Arabia in the Middle East there. And that's where he lives, in Bahrain. And he reached out to me. His name is Sergio Halabi. And he said, hey, do you want to get together and do a group show, like a together show? I'm like, sure, that'd be awesome. And I said, what'd you have in mind? And he said, well, I'd like to talk about the potential presence of the Anunnaki epochs in the Abrahamic religions. And Abrahamic religions are those that have to do with the Abrahamic topic. And that's what, by saying that, I mean Christianity, I mean Judaism, and I mean Islam. And I was like, wow, that sounds like a really interesting topic to cover. And certainly it's one that I'm interested in, but, full disclosure, I'm not really well versed in. So I was really excited to have that dialogue because I thought it would be fun to talk about that on the show. My knowledge base was such that it was hard for me to dive into a full show on it because, quite frankly, I just don't know enough about it. So it was great to have Sergio on. We had a great discussion. It was really fantastic. I know you guys are going to love this episode. It's just a really neat, real neat topic. It's really an incredible thing to discuss, and just to try to understand maybe another possibility for where do we come from? Where do all our ideas come from and all this? So is it paranormal? Not in the traditional sense, but it definitely has to do with the ancient astronauts, the Sumerian Anunnaki, that whole rabbit hole, that whole network of rabbit holes all on its own. So I'm really excited about it, and I'm going to show you guys a teaser about that tonight. So we'll get into that later on in the show. But I'm not here alone, just so you know. I have, of course, my firstborn child right here with me. And ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Sheldon Thomas. How you doing, buddy?
Hello, everyone. That's right. I'm here. Can't get rid of me. I'm stuck here.
You're stuck on the branch of the family tree. It's like, yeah, I know. It's not always an easy place to be, but it's gonna be a great show anyway. So I'm glad you could make it. Thank you for being here.
Of course, and I got my super reflective glasses today, so you can't see my eyes.
You almost look like you're just embedded with technology.
That's right. That's how my brain works.
Well, it is. You got a machine for a brain. There's no question. And I mean that in the most complimentary way, by the way. So, not like a Tandy little home computer. Never mind. That's a very dated reference. You wouldn't even understand it. One of the first home computers was called the Tandy, and it was made, I think, by Timex or something. But it was,
wow.
It was just this side of a calculator. There wasn't a whole lot cooking on those things. You could do about spreadsheets, and that was about it. But anyway, it wasn't funny. It was the initial attempt was good, but delivery sucked. So I'll take that one on the chin. Thank you very much.
I don't even have to make fun of you. Make fun of yourself.
Well, that's what I always figure. If you make fun of yourself, it makes it real hard for the dicks to get a hold of you then, right? That didn't sound right either, did it? Sorry about that.
Oh, boy. Off to a great start.
Off to a banner beginning here on the Paranormal Portal. But, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a lot of fun underway here. So, as always, throughout the course of the show, if you want to, you can be a part of the discussion, and you can do so by dialing 720-923-0500. Again, 720-923-0500. Those are some great opportunities. The elusive dicks. Yeah, you're right. I see you got blocked, but I hear what you're saying, Jay. It was just I can't fault you for taking that one, even though the mods are like, oh, we can't talk like that. Well, yeah, unfortunately, I talked like that, so I already screwed the pooch on this deal. So my sincere apologies. But let's get to the fun that we've come to expect here on the Paranormal Portal. All I can tell you is I hope you're ready, because it's time for bed. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are now kind of underway. Oh, wait, I forgot one. Okay, now it's official.
We should just call this the Scuffed Shell at this point.
The Scuffed. It's the derpathon. Yeah, I'm batting 1,000, and sorry I'm late too. By the way, I got really preoccupied with checking out another show out there. One other thing I'd like to throw out there, as long as we're talking about other shows, Ruger. I'm going to let that go, Ruger, because, again, I can hardly choke it off since I set that table, so my apologies. But let's just say that I want to make sure that everybody knows out there, if you haven't already, head over to Bigfoot Odyssey when you get a chance. It's their YouTube channel, Bigfoot Odyssey, and check out 168 Hours. It's the newest release of their documentary series, and this is the first release of a series of releases that have taken place in the huge collective effort that they had over in Florida earlier this year. And they had a ton of researchers from all around, and many of those names you're going to know. Some of them you may not, but all of them were absolute consummate professionals. They had some great input, and there's some pretty incredible captures over there. I was really blown away by some of the photos that they did capture, and it makes sense. If you listen to the dialogue and the explanations, it absolutely makes sense. And I'm not going to give it all away, but I'm just going to say that there was some pretty fantastic prints found. There was some amazing photos that I think are the real deal, and just check it out. 168 Hours on Bigfoot Odyssey channel. And as always, we wish them the best. That was a really well done job by Kerry Arnold and his team, and of course Daniela Aiello over there. They just do a great job. So
Maggie saw it. She said it was good.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, here's the thing. The thing that I liked about it really, really well was the fact that it really goes into a lot of the thought process. A lot of times when you're watching these documentaries, you just say, oh, and then they found footsteps, and then they quick show the footsteps, and they talk about what was going on when they found it. But in the dialogue of this video, you're actually hearing a lot of the thought process from the researchers, things they're looking for. when they're looking at locations, things that they try to utilize in order to get the best positioning possible to look for areas. And I found that incredibly interesting. A gentleman named Mark Newbill of Sawdust Beast was on there talking quite a bit about, why they chose a specific place, what was he seeing, what was going on there. And I thought it was just really, really well put together. So, yeah, the tracks were great. You're right, Patty. So it's definitely, you can stand to learn something just by watching it. But, of course, again, it's really well put together. My hat's off to them. I know that they had huge number of hours of audio, video, photos to go through. And when you see some of the captures and you realize, wow, they saw that in this image. I was blown away by that alone, that they saw. And you can see why it's so possible to walk right by these things in the forest and not know they're there. They are so well adapted to the forest and so well adapted to blending in. And it's crazy. Yeah, Sugar Britch's Sawdust Beast is awesome. It is, and I like listening to Mark talk. He's the kind of guy that would have you telling that he could sit there and tell you they have to rebuild your entire car, and you'd be like, okay. His delivery is just so calm and measured, and he's just got that southern charm. So I like listening to Mark talk. He's great. But all right, folks. Now about our show. I suppose I should focus on the Paranormal Portal, right? We're going to go to what, Sheldon? What?
Oh, yeah, I did my tick. I was just agreeing with you.
Oh, okay. Good.
Ignore that.
No, that's fine. I don't know how did this get closed? Oh, I remember I had to reboot. So I had to do a video project today because I did a teaser video that we'll be showing pretty soon or a little bit later on the show here tonight, but I had to shut down one of my screens that I usually have open with all of our material. So I got to pull that back up and try to figure out where the hell we are. Because, oh no.
Where are we?
Where are we? That's the question of the day. I don't even know for sure. Oh man, I'm going to be screwed on this one. You know what? We're going to start a whole new article because I don't know where the hell it is. I have to look back at that other article and figure out where we read to. I think it was like 27 or 28, but I don't know. And I'm confused. Let me just see. Let me just look quick just to see if I'm right. I don't recognize many of these things. Nah, I'm going to have to come back to it. I'll have to come back to it, folks, because I had to shut the window down and it didn't save correctly. So it started at the top of the article. Usually it's set to open up right where I left off, but it didn't do that. So unfortunately, that's the problem. That's the Paranormal Portal. But we're going to start this out by looking at an article from factinate.com, which is a source that we use quite a bit here on the shows. And I always love them. And this is the spooky season, terrifying stories to keep you up at night. It says the spooky season is upon us, and that can only mean one thing, reading terrifying real-life horror stories until we can't sleep. Now, again, as with all of these aggregated articles, we don't always know what's in them because you can see they are literally, let me just scroll through this article so you can see how much material's here. I can't screen this for repeats and stuff, so I apologize. But it's just too damn much. I'm just one person.
Wow.
So
that's a lot.
If we get redundancies, it's not because I'm trying to recycle stuff here. It's just because there's just repeats on different articles, especially from the same source. And we've been using a Factinate article on the other one where I lost my place. So, number one.
And as all.
What?
And as always, we're going into these stories assuming that they're truthful and not made up or anything like that.
Oh, yeah. Well, these are compiled by, Reddit posts. So you got to take them. We assume that they're real because they're supposed to be posted in, the real, not the made up stuff. But there still can be fabrications. So, all right. Number one, there's no place like home. My parents bought their first house back in 1972. It was a fixer-upper. What the hell am I? Oh, hold on. Let's get to this call quick. Oh, hey, Wes. I'm on the air. How you doing, brother?
What's going on, man?
Hey, Wes.
I can eat you up afterwards.
What's that?
Just return your phone call.
Oh, okay.
I can eat you up afterwards. I was just returning your phone call. Sorry, man. I didn't realize you're on the air.
No worries. It's always it's just street cred when I answer the call and you're on it. So,
Hello, everyone in chat.
all right, man. Thanks, buddy.
All right, brother. Hit me up afterwards.
Okay. Mr. Wes Germer. Back to the story. There was no place like home. My parents bought their first house back in 1972. It was a fixer-upper, but they decided to move in right away and fix things as time and money permitted. Within a few days of moving in, the new neighbors came over to introduce themselves. They also let my parents know that the previous owners had moved out after a nasty divorce. They had just lost their second baby from an illness, and their relationship went downhill from there. My parents were horrified, more so because they were newly pregnant and couldn't imagine going through such a thing. This sounds familiar. This is not a good start. They eventually pretty much forgot all about it. Life went on, but they were in love with their new life and their new home. In preparation for the baby, they decided to wallpaper the nursery, and now my dad and my mom Now my dad told my mom there was no need for wallpapering the inside of the closet, but she insisted. She was kneeling down, scraping off the old paint inside the closet when her eyes fell upon something that made her blood turn to ice. Written in crayon at about eye level for a kindergartner in childish scrawl were the words, "I killed the baby." We did read that one before. Oh my God. We can't do that. That's not good. That's not a good way to start an article, right? It's terrible story.
God.
But it's terrible.
Definitely not leaning into the stories.
No. Well, it sucks to start one up and to realize, hey, we already read that one. Well, we're going to have to deal with this. I went back to the other article, and I'm just going to start reading this one on number 26. I don't think we've read this one. This is the other article that we were working through. I think this is about the right place, but God only knows. It'll do just, it's the portal. What can you expect? You're getting what you paid for? I don't know. For those of you that super chat, I'm really sorry. It says, leave the boy alone. We lived near an American Civil War battlefield and cemetery for a few years. There were trails through the woods that would hike a lot. And one day we were looking at the cemetery and my wife hears me walk up to her. We were the only ones there, so she turns to say something. Well, I'm nowhere nearby. I'm on the other side looking at a cannon. From that day on, we started experiencing things that were just odd. Yeah, they probably dragged something home with them. My wife's car was always kept in the garage, and its inside mirror kept moving overnight. It wasn't dropping from a loose fitting, and it would be in random directions. Sometimes it would be pointed up, other times sideways. Weird, but I dismissed it as her bumping it while getting her purse or other items when getting out. Then her car went into the shop, and the next morning I wanted to go to work, and the mirror in my truck, which I parked in the driveway with the doors locked, was moved upward. Next morning, same thing, different direction. She got her car back, and my mirror never moved again. There were little goofy things, too, typical haunting stuff like things moved, the sense of somebody behind you, etc. Also, our house was a ranch style with the master bedroom on the first floor and our son's bedroom on the second, right above ours. The flooring was job was just substandard. And we heard every movement. He started going to the bathroom, which was down the hallway, and halfway across the second floor from his room a lot. Yet every time we'd go up to check on him, he'd be asleep. One night we decided to catch him coming out of the bathroom for no reason other than make sure he was okay and to tell him to quit stomping like an elephant because come morning he never remembered going. We never were able to. Every time we'd go to the bathroom, one of us would head upstairs and the other stayed in bed. We wouldn't hear him return and the other would find him asleep in his bed. The next morning we asked him if he was up and walking around last night, and his reply made me turn white as sheet. He said no, but that for weeks something would walk up to and away from his door, but not open it. My wife turned to the room and said, "You're welcome to hang around, but please stop walking up to our son's room at night. You're scaring him." The footsteps never reoccurred after that, although the car mirror thing kept going on. She could have been pranking me, maybe, but one of the times my truck mirror moved was after I'd gotten home, and I went to the store a couple hours later. Only set of keys to it had never left my pocket. Could our son have been pranking us again? Possible, but the darn flooring was so bad in one spot that even our cat walking over it caused it to squeak, making it nearly impossible for him to get back into his bedroom without us noticing. Yeah, we read that one before too. Ugh. Oh, this is a frustrating beginning. Wow.
It's the rerun show.
I don't know. Maybe this one. No, we read this one too. Jesus. I'm just trying, folks. I'm trying to try to gather up what's left of the wreckage of this show. So.
I definitely hope it's an entertaining one for the audience at the very least.
Yeah, if you if you have to watch us struggle, I mean, isn't that part of being part of a family, right? Sometimes your family members rock, and other times they're just a bunch of knobs. Well, welcome to the Knob Show. When a Stranger Knocks. Did we read this one? When my family first moved to California, the house we lived in had a lot of weird things occur. My room happened to be close to the front door, dining room area. I could hear the front door open and close, so one day I'm in my room playing games. It's after school. Yep, we read this one. And everyone is home except my dad, who's not home from work yet. We're getting close, though. I'm almost 100% concentrated on a game, yet I hear the front door open, and I quickly turn to look out and see someone walk upstairs, who I assume to be my dad. Immediately after, I hear my youngest brother yell out, "Daddy's home, Daddy's home!" My siblings and my mom all rush upstairs to go after my dad. I don't think much of it and just kept playing. Just a few minutes later, they all bolt downstairs. There's a big commotion, and my little brother is in tears. I'm still into my game, but I can kind of hear what's going on. My brother saw a figure go upstairs and thought it was my dad, but when they got up to the master bedroom, no one was there. I knew I heard the door open, and I also saw someone go upstairs. That was a Obi Meme Kenobi. I remember that one. We're getting close, though. I'm getting close to where we left off.
Yep.
Just trying to screen this a little bit.
38.
38?
38.
Is that what you think?
Just what popped to my head. 38.
Yeah, there's Guardian Angel. You're right. We would have read another one. A few blocks. Yeah, we read that one. We read 38. I think The Road That Never Ends, we read that one. The Friendly Ghost, we read that one. Sleepless Nights.
Oh.
We're getting close. Not my story, but my maternal grandmother's. Yep, we read that one. It's a good thing I got a good memory, but it's a bad thing I didn't remember to just say what one we're on. I should just keep notes as well.
That's what Android Purity said.
Well, thank you, Android, for that. I appreciate it. Number 43, Bizarre Mementos. I think we didn't read this one. Oh, no, I did. Mufasa Was an Inside Job. We read that one. As Seen on TV, we read that one. The Last Goodbye. This one might be... No, I think this one might be it. Number 45, Last Goodbye.
That's good.
I think
Okay.
I was going to read this one, but we had run out of time, and I was like, well, I can't get this one in. So number 45, I think, is the one we're on, which if you... I'm so sorry for this. Oh, well, 45, The Last Goodbye. A few years back, I was preparing for an overnight camping trip in an area that didn't have any cell phone service. My mom called to tell me my grandpa was going in that day for a quick routine surgery and that I should give him a call before I headed out of service to send him my love and well wishes. I did so, but went off camping without a worry in my heart. That night, I had the most incredibly vivid nightmares of my life. I dreamed that I was at the hospital where my grandfather was and that things weren't going well. I was watching my mom panic and worry, as well as my grandmother. They discussed whether to let him go or not. I saw him on the operating table. I was there, I swear it. I was with him when he passed. When I woke up the next morning crying, I told my boyfriend that my grandpa had passed and that my mom was probably trying to get a hold of me. He reassured me that it was just a bad dream brought on by the worry of someone I love being in the hospital, but I knew it. I just felt it. So we drove to the nearest town, and I called my mom. She answered in tears and told me that my grandpa had indeed passed from unforeseen complications. But then it got even creepier. I told her about my dream, and she was shocked. The scenes and conversations I described were exactly what happened in the hospital. I described that the hospital looked like, even though I had never been there. And sure enough, my mom confirmed my descriptions. I had never before or since experienced anything like this or experienced anything paranormal whatsoever. I know, though, that I was with my grandfather in his final moments in that hospital. Wow. No, we've not
Oh.
read that one. Alexandra Zen. Brand, I just sent the link of spooky stories to the Paranormal Portal fan page. Thank you, Rachel. I appreciate that. I will look at that, but I think we're on track now.
Finally.
And my co-producers chat.
Pretty bad this time. I was no help.
Nah, it's okay. I mean, it's the other part of it is that you weren't here for, you're here and then you're not here and then you're here. So it's the one that should be remembering is me, but I'm human.
Yeah.
I'm only human. All right. Number 46, Life in the Strange Lane. I had a glitch in the Matrix experience just today. I was doing a damage audit and the inventory audit on our fleet vehicles today. I did the damage audit first. I found a vehicle with significant damage and listed out the details. This is among about 10 damaged vehicles inside of about the 30 that we have in our lot. Well, upon turning in the damage audit, I'm told this vehicle is not in our lot. Befuddled, I went and checked, and it was not where it was when I inspected it. I searched the whole lot. Gone. We had no transports today, meaning the vehicle was never moved. We also checked the location history of it, and it had only been rented and returned out of one location about 20 minutes away. It's never been on our lot before, but here's where it gets creepy. I'm thinking, okay, just had a unit number wrong. Nope. I pulled up previous inspections, and it had the exact same damage on that as I had written out. So somehow I inspected a vehicle properly that was not and had never been on my lot. Oof, that's pretty creepy.
Kind of cool.
I don't even know what would cause that. I mean, that's not that. Yeah, does a car have a will? Like it wants to be in this place, and so it appears there every once in a while. I mean, what the hell is going on there?
So interesting. I don't even know what. I mean, I guess it could be similar to the idea of merging of dimensions, how things are different than they were, or things change in that sort of way. So that's the only explanation I could even think of.
Yeah, it's just weird. True. It's just very weird though, because we're talking about a car. Now, can these things have a spirit? And I think they can. I mean, I know many people talk to their cars. Hell, I talk to my car. It's like, come on, you can start. Come on, especially when you're having troubles, you like start dealing with it. Like, oh, let's try and negotiate a new plan. And come on, you just got to run a little bit longer. Come on.
Isn't that more of a Wiccan belief that everything has like
not only Wiccan,
a spirit belief or spirit to it?
It's not just Wiccan. It's many religions. Buddhists would say the same thing as many other esoteric religions, any other holistic religions. I think for many of them, the concept is that if it exists, it's made out of matter, and if it has matter, it has to have been directed by consciousness to exist. And so, does it then have a spirit? And I think everything does have a spirit. And it may be what some people would call God. So if it exists, if it's real, it's within the mind of God, right? In the mind of the divine, because outside of the mind of the divine, nothing can exist, right? Or at least for some people in their viewpoints. So perhaps because it exists in this reality that we have, it has an energetic presence, and anything with an energetic presence has to have taken its root from the source. Energy can neither be created nor destroyed; it can only change form. And as we observe our life, we create it, and we are imbued with the divine. So, do we imbue things with divinity just by creating them, or are they divine in and of themselves before that? I don't know. I mean, that's the conundrums of religion and spirituality, and I don't know if anybody here is fit to say for sure, but I think it's probably it makes sense to if it exists. To me, it makes sense. If it exists, it is imbued with the divine, or which is however you want to define the divine. And I'm not trying to say it's one thing or another. I think it's whatever you believe it is. But if it exists in this experience, then it has to have a connection to spirit, you know?
I think what's really cool about that is that idea that you're trying to portray is reinforced by science, because everything is made up of energy. I mean, yeah, humans, we have cells, but what's smaller than those cells? Atoms. Everything is made out of atoms, which is a form of energy, if I'm understanding it correctly.
Sure.
So
if you look down into the quantum fields, the quanta, the quarks, and all of those things are all energetic. I mean, they don't. I mean, it gets to the point where there isn't matter. There's just energy. You know, like energy is void of certain properties that we attribute to physical objects, and it just gets to be like, oh, you got to rub your temples after a while, because it's just such a deep road to try to travel mentally. But I think it's true. I think that things have a spirit. Now, that's echoed in many spiritual philosophies. The Dead Sea Scrolls, split a piece of wood, I am there. You know, lift up a rock, I am there too. The idea that that the divine is everywhere. It is in among us. People talking to Jesus, where will the kingdom of heaven come? Well, it's not here nor there. It is within you and is you, and that's kind of a indicator to me that, we are a reflection of that divinity, and we have within us that divinity, and we're connected to the divinity, I don't know. It's it's such a enormous topic to try to put into a few sound bites for a show, but those are my feelings anyway. And
well, I think it gets so complicated that you're right. If you were to go deep enough, and I mean deep enough into this, even further than what we're talking about, it's one of those things where I could see your sanity start slipping, because you're going so deep and so bigger than maybe you're capable of handling. Yeah, possibly.
The old saying, it's not in my pay grade, and it's really it's something that I'm sure there are people who that look into these things all the time, but they are much more mental giants than I am. So interesting story though. But could cars be spiritual? Sure. Could they manifest and travel as they will? I don't know. Maybe.
Those are called Transformers.
Yep. Autobots roll out. All right. Number 47, a waking nightmare. I once had a test coming, on a Saturday that was a really darn important English test. On a Saturday? Man, that sucks. My parents had paid a lot of money for my classes, and the test itself wasn't cheap either, so I was under huge pressure. Well, I didn't study the whole week, even though I felt really guilty. I took the test. It went okay, not good, not too good, not too bad. A few weeks later, I got the results. I failed. I had a breakdown and couldn't tell my parents how recklessly I had failed. I was legitimate going crazy, and then I woke up. It was Monday. I still had 5 days to Saturday. I took the test and passed it. The dream was so real. I knew what I had done on each day during the dream. I had even imagined facts that I had studied and could recall them in my dream. It was so real. It made me feel uneasy. Thinking about it today still gives me the creeps. Wow. That's by a little ice bear. Well, that, if you get a do-over in life, fantastic. What a good break. Because, I imagine a kid seeing their parents investing all this money into this, and the parents are just balls to the wall supporting this education, and they're just doing everything they can to make this happen, and the kid just kind of, nopes out of it for a week before the test and screws it, and it's like, oh God. And that's maybe their whole world, that's like seeing your whole world crush down on you. And if you get a chance to redo it, that is divine intervention. There's no question. That's really cool.
Yeah, I would agree.
What a relief, though, to look back and go, oh my God, I didn't fail.
It's true.
I mean, we all could use do-overs. We really could, but I'm glad this person got one. That's really cool. Number 48, the eeriness of ordinary things. One time I was coming back from a fly fishing trip with my friend Caesar, and we stopped at a Mexican restaurant for lunch. While we were waiting for the chips to arrive, both of us looked at each other and simultaneously, without prompting, sang the exact same stupid made-up song to each other. Mexican restaurant. Neither of us had ever sung it before or sung anything out loud before. Neither of us sing, but we both kind of furrowed our brows at each other in surprise and have never spoken about it again. It was weird and completely stupid, but I have never forgotten it. Yeah, that's kind of funny.
Yeah.
I don't know, folks. I don't know, but that was by Zach Matthews. Well, Zach.
Can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
I think it came up last story, the story before that, but deja vu. Mm-hmm. How does, number one, if you know, how does science explain it, and what do you think deja vu is? And chat too, what do you guys think deja vu is?
Wow, that's a great question. I don't know how science explains it. Probably as like a mental function that's there's memory functions that people have, and I think I've heard it explained before scientifically as, they were saying that it's not actually a repeated experience, but it's a memory that's formed in such a way through our cognitive processes that it appears to us to be something we've already experienced. I don't know why, I don't remember how, but I remember it being some function of memory, just seeing it and just transposing it into another event and suddenly having this feeling like, oh, I've been here before, I've done it before. I don't know. What is it really? It's anybody.
Yeah, what do you think it is? Yeah.
That's a really great question, but I guess I would suggest that maybe it is the fact, maybe it's a clue that we really do manifest our experiences. Maybe that's a hint to our subconscious that the subconscious parts of ourselves that do create our absolute experiences in life, that maybe it's a leaking between the two. Like there was some part of that process of creating that moment that felt familiar. Maybe it could be a past life. Maybe it could be it could also be what is the multiverse kind of thing, where other parts of you have already experienced what you're experiencing now for whatever reasons, because of the terms or conditions in their experience is a little bit different. So they may have experienced things before you do, but as you're connected to all the different versions of yourself, maybe you get those little echoes like, oh, the bleed through from the two. Could it be something like that? Maybe it's a time slip. Maybe it's something else. I don't know. That's so many things it could be.
Rachel says it's a puppet master testing their power.
Oh, that's kind of a cool way to look at it. Yeah.
Maggie says one eye sees it and processes it before the other one. A specific explanation that she saw.
Oh, that's an interesting thought. Okay. That's a new one to me too. Wow. It's hard to know. I mean, that's just the thing. There's so much we don't know about how we do process information. I think we're learning so much at such a rapid scale, but we still have so much to learn just in how the brain works. We have these fundamental ideas, but we really don't know. We don't know that, we don't know what is consciousness in terms of, the mechanics of a brain, in terms of a physical body. What actually is consciousness? Where does consciousness reside? We just don't know. And so that's the problem with trying to explain these incredible mysteries of the universe, is that there's so much we don't know. We're not really coming into it with a really robust toolbox of ideas. We're just coming in with a lot of haphazard ideas and theories and throwing it at it and hoping something sticks. I think we're at the point where we're learning so much so quickly, and maybe we'll come to understand these things very robustly, including ghost phenomena, including UFOs, including cryptids, all of this stuff. But there's just so much going on in the nature of our realities and in the natures of physics and the universes and all of this that we just don't understand. So we know enough to ask the questions. We just don't know enough about the mechanics of what's going on around us to really have an understanding, is my opinion.
We may never know.
We may never know. I don't know. And maybe it's not ours to know. But I think it's
Yeah.
cool that we at least ask the questions. Like, it's cool that people are trying to figure these things out. I don't know. It's
I
curious.
agree.
It's curious. All right, number 49, not feeling secure at all. It says, will you close that damn Microsoft thing? Why do you do that? I hate that little toolbar thing. Anybody out there, you ever figured out how to shut down that Windows pop-up crap that comes up in its own little box every time you get close to your clock? How do you shut that off? Let me know, please. Please let me know. I just hate that that kind of crap is running on my computer. I guess I should switch to Linux. 49, not feeling secure at all. I used to work in a small office, which was about 60 people at maximum capacity. We had a security guard on duty 24/7. One night, I had to stay super duper late. Not just late, Sheldon, super duper late.
Wow.
By myself because I had to leave early the next day and needed to finish my workload. All of my other coworkers were gone by around 10 p.m. Cleaning crew comes in, and now it's just me and the security guard. The place is dark, but I'm not at all frightened because I'm not scared of most things. The security guard is a really nice guy. We're in a safe neighborhood. The security guards are required to make their rounds every couple of hours just to make sure things are fine. And sometimes they say something to us. Most times they don't. Tonight, nice guy security dude stops by my cubicle and asks, everything all right? Big friendly grin on his face as per usual. All good here, thanks. I go back to work. 20 minutes later, he's back again. Big grin. Everything all right? Yep, nothing yet. 20 minutes later, he's back. Big grin. At this point, I'm getting a little creeped out. There's no need for him to come by this frequently. In fact, it's disruptive. And I also notice that the way he interacts with me is always exactly the same. As if I were in a time loop. Same big grin, same intonation, same rhythm of speech. Not only that, I notice that he whistles the same thing at around the same time. So if I turn off the music on my headphones, I can hear his whistling coming closer before he asks, everything all right? It's around midnight and I'm totally freaked out. I try to rationalize this with myself because I have to get this work done. I'm rushing through my work and I keep hearing that whistling behind me, and surely he won't come back again. Everything all right? At this point, I'm fully terrified. I no longer trust this guy. I used to feel so safe around. I was a young woman in her 20s, and the security guard was a dude in his 50s. I couldn't finish everything. But I wrote an email to my supervisor saying that the security guard was acting very strange, and I didn't feel safe. I shut everything down and tried to rush to the exit. I don't run into the security guard, or so I think. Just as I'm feeling free and clear, I hear, bye now, behind me. He's standing there in the dark alleyway, or hallway, big grin, just standing there and watching. I mumble something and sprint to my car. The next day I rush to my supervisor to try to explain what happened the night before. In the light of day, it kind of felt like I might have overreacted, or maybe my mind was playing tricks on me. Then I learned the dark truth. Turns out, the dude just disappeared. He's missing. I'm pretty sure they still haven't found him to this day. The security guard company just kind of dismissed it as some flaky guy who quit for no reason, and no one seems to be pursuing it much. He must have been suffering some kind of mental health issue or something, but up until that night, he was just a super nice, trustworthy, reliable security guard who everybody loved. And it also felt just like some kind of weird phenomena stuff because it really felt like something had taken over inside of him. Yeesh. That's weird. That's creepy. Throw out 794. That's creepy stuff.
Wow.
So is that something else? Is that some form of doppelganger? Is that a different spirit? Was he possessed? Yeesh.
Yeah, the whole disappearing part. Huh. Yeah. After he was acting weird, that's really coincidental.
It's coincidental, all right. Absolutely. Very strange. Very strange stuff, folks. But I guess we got time for one more. Actually, I should read you about three more because I screwed up the whole beginning of the show. Number True. 50, The Others. Oh, thank you, Sheldon. I appreciate that.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
The Others. My mom and older sister describe how I used to randomly start crying and asking where my mom was, even when she was right in front of me. When my mom would try to comfort me by saying she was right there, I would shout for my other mom. I would then describe this person who apparently always held a bloody hammer. They said it scared them out of their wits, but one day when I was 2 years old, they tried to ask me about it, and I couldn't remember anything. Ew. The other mother.
Wow.
Yeah, that's creepy. That was by Space Cadet, CDT, Cadet. That's it. That's it for the article. We finished it.
Whoa.
Oh, like magic. It was like magic, wasn't it, Sheldon?
That sounded a lot like magic. It sure did.
It did. I think that's what magic sounds like. A lot like harps.
Yeah, probably.
Apparently, I'll have to look at that other article and try to figure out what the hell part of that one I'm on. But we are just cruising through the night. And now I want to unveil to you the teaser trailer for tonight's podcast that'll be releasing later. I have full disclosure. I didn't remember to pull up a trail cam terror, but I may have something anyway, because I did get another image sent to me from my cousin, but I haven't looked at it yet. But let's go to this first of all, if I get the right one. Yeah, here it is. All right, you ready, Sheldon?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Chance to have this dialogue. So please, first of all, could you kind of set it up? What is this all about?
Yeah. So basically, when we look at the first ever civilization for mankind, it's been very well documented that it happened in Mesopotamia, which is modern day Iraq, and it's the Sumerian civilization. First ever cities that are built, agriculture, animal domestication, and religion, of course. And something that has come up throughout research over the years is that a lot of the religion ideas that were presented at that time, they seem to have been taken and studied and presented in new ways in different religions as well. So we're talking here about the cradle of civilization, but also the cradle of religion. And I've always found it very, very fascinating. Now I am born Catholic Christian, and the traditional Catholic school, Catholic mother, the whole thing. And I've been exposed to the Bible. I've been exposed to, especially where I live, to Islam as well, to the Quran, Judaism, and all that, to the Torah. And once I got more and more familiar with the mythology of the Anunnaki and the Sumerians, I started noticing that there's a lot of similarities between what we are now considering Abrahamic religions and what the ancient civilization of the same location as well, by the way, given that Iraq is the birthplace of the Sumerian religion, and the entire Middle East is the birthplace of the Abrahamic religions.
So that's kind of a sneak peek, ladies and gentlemen, about what's in store tonight. And that'll be released on our podcast in just a little bit. It's going to be released at 9 p.m. Pacific time, so whatever that means to where you are. But it'll be available, of course, on demand if you go to Pandora, Spotify, iHeart, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, CastBox, and Podbean, and a bunch of other ones. So I wanted to look at this because I found it very, very curious. I guess it's not very curious. Never mind. That's a different one. Okay. It's just a black bear. I can see it now more clearly. It's a black bear on a trail cam. But that's what's hanging around his house as well.
Oh, man. Too bad Gigi's not here.
Because everything's a bear. Yeah.
Everything's a bear, and it's actually a bear.
Yeah, this time she would have been right. Wow. Just goes to show you, even a stop clock is right twice a day. I'm just kidding. Of course, we love Gigi. Of course.
Of course.
We do. But, yeah, I don't even have a trail cam terrors, unfortunately. Because the one I thought didn't turn out to be one at all. But let me just, Jesus, let me just look at this. I don't know how the hell I had that open. I just want to look because there's sometimes some really good ones here. Oh, here we go. We do have one, as a matter of fact. I just found it, folks.
All right.
I hope I just found it. Let me just look, see where. Yeah, there's a video here. Good. This comes from an article from animalien.com, and let me just get it in position here, and then we'll do it, but it'll be on our Trail Cam Terror section, which will be the final portion of our show tonight. So I hope you all are ready, but here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Trail Cam Terrors. This is our segment of the show where we dedicate to photographic evidence or film evidence, video evidence of the paranormal. And some of them are good, some of them are so-so, some of them are really ambiguous, and I'm not sure what this one is because I just found it now, so we're going to find out together. But without further delay, this one comes from animalien.com. Again, this is a site that we visit sometimes on the show here. It's a good site. But the article is Huge Triangular UFO Caught on Doorbell Camera. Let me blow this up just a tad because it's dinky. It says, we've long been fascinated by the possibility of alien life. Is humanity's the only species in the universe? There have always been questions asked about whether there are other intelligent beings looking up into the night sky from very different worlds. The numerous mysterious object sightings throughout the years just add to the intrigue, and now a man from Hertfordshire, England, claims that his doorbell camera captured footage of a triangular UFO passing over his house. Yikes. Matt Dowdy, 43, was watching TV with his friend Kevin Barrett last month when his phone pinged with a notification from his smart doorbell. Warning something was outside his front door, reports mirror.co.uk. Dowdy, out of the curiosity or scare, played the captured footage. He was left amazed as he watched the eerie scene unfold, with an unidentified object gliding through the sky with 3 bright lights beaming through the darkness. I looked at the footage and played it back, he said. It was silent. 3 lights came from the sky, and I thought it was really weird. Where it's come through the trees, it's come over the house opposite me, and the footage captures it coming from right to left. It disappears over the top of woodland to the left of my house. It was a bit of a chilling feeling, really. I thought, oh my God, that's quite close. I wondered if I'd discovered something nobody knows anything about. When I showed Kevin, he just said, geez, looks like a UFO. So let's check it out, folks, since that's what we do here. And it looks like it was from Dogtooth Media. Let me just pull this up a little bit here and see what we got. There it is. Well, that does look like a UFO. Wow.
Whoa.
It's even got a reflection under here on the eave, under the overhang. I wonder why. You wouldn't think it would, because it looks like it's high up in the sky. Could it just be 3 drones? I guess it could be.
I'm not seeing the reflection on the overhang.
Okay, let me pull it back to the beginning here, because that's where I noticed it. Look at the overhang right about here where my mouse is, and I think you'll see it then too, but let's do this.
Okay.
Okay, now watch the under the overhang there.
All right.
See, there it's kind of showing up. Did you see it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And
So it's not something like infrared. I don't know. Maybe it could be infrared.
It could be, and that light could be reflecting from somewhere. Maybe there's a big window on the front door that's reflecting it up into the eave like that. But I don't know. That is curious because it looks like it's way up in the sky by the trajectory of it from being behind that big tree. I don't know.
And plus, it's cloudy. So
But
it's
yeah.
it looks like it's like in the clouds.
Or at least there's a lot of light pollution, but that is very curious. I don't know. Could very well be. Could be something very UFO, UAP, but I guess it's definitely a UFO because it's unidentified. Yeah. But there you have it, folks. Very interesting. From Dogtooth Media. Check out their channel too, I guess. I'd never heard of them before, but yeah, that's pretty creepy. Looks like they might have caught the real thing, but that's tonight's Trail Cam Terrors, folks. So I don't know about you, but it's a good capture. Just a lot of questions.
Yeah. Maybe if they clarified some things, then I'd for sure say yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's just hard to know. You know, you get those little sketchy one-offs, and it's hard to know what the hell you're looking at. But I know what I'm looking at, folks. This is the ending of our show tonight. I hope you guys will check out our podcast releasing in just another hour. And check it out. It was a great discussion. Really excited about this show. I'm really excited about the discussion that we had. And he's going to be coming back on because there's a lot of other topics that I've been really excited to do shows about that he has also done quite a bit of research in. We're going to do some more with Sergio Halabi is his name. And really great guy. And he has the podcast, the Paradigm Shift podcast. So you can check that out as well. But he's from Bahrain. I like his accent. It was very easy to understand. Some accents are a little tough, but his was very easy to track. So I hope you guys love it. Sheldon, anything in closing?
Absolutely. For anyone new here or hasn't joined already, we have a Discord channel where we go over a lot of interesting things on the web that we may not necessarily cover here on the show. But we have, there's a lot of discussions over there, a lot of great links, a lot of great pictures, videos, whatnot. But I'll put the link in the chat, and there you go.
And there we go, folks. So, again, there's no shows Monday or Tuesday night. So I hope you guys have a wonderful couple of nights, and just know I love you and I'll miss you, but I got things to do, and no better time to do them. But we'll be back on Wednesday night with the regular 2-hour show as usual. Other than that, all I can tell you is we love you all. Be good, be kind, be nice. Take care of each other, help each other out, find the magic in every day, and remember to laugh as much as you can. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Cue the credits.